Hey y'all, so I'm back again with another video, and today's video is gonna be a little sad. It's about something that happened probably like a good 12 years ago. I don't remember how many years ago that was, but it was probably like around the time when I was like maybe 5 years old, either 5 years old or 4 years old, but I don't remember which one because I didn't really have like a good grasp of time around that age. This story is my testimony of how God literally talked to me at a young age, and he saved me from me getting raped at that age. Yeah, this video is crazy, y'all. So stay tuned. Just ignore what's going on up here. I haven't had the time to do my hair, and I haven't even felt the need of doing my hair and just doing my eyebrows either. I just been rocking myself the way it is. So stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned. I'm gonna get my hair done soon, and I'm gonna be looking a little better than this. But right now, I just want to rock. I just want to rock how I am. When I was younger, I would live with my mom sometimes. I would live with my dad sometimes. So it was her time to come pick me up so I could spend some time with her. And so, yeah, she came to pick me up. But instead of going to the house that she lived in, she went and dropped me off at a family friend's house. I really feel like those people were family friends instead of my real family. Because I remember at that time, my mom was telling me, like, oh, it's your cousins. We're going to your cousin's house. You're going to spend some time with your cousins and her parents or whatever. So, yeah. I don't think they were my cousins and my aunts or my uncle. I don't think they were none of that. They probably were a family friend. That's what I really think it is. But I don't know because I'm not really in contact with those people now, and it's been a long time since I was in Haiti, and so I will never know. But I really feel like they're family friends. So my mom dropped me off at their house, and that's where I met my cousin the first time. Me and her hit it off really good. Like that day we went to, like, I don't know if it was carnival, but there was an event going on in that town. So that day me and her and this other person who was older than us went to that place. We had fun, we ate, we celebrated whatever was going on, whatever celebration that was. We celebrated it, we talked, we had fun. Later that night I went to sleep at her house because, you know, my mom had dropped me off at her house. Keep in mind that after my mom dropped me off, she literally went somewhere. I don't know where she went, but she didn't stay with me. And so that night I was supposed to sleep like in that, like, this living room area, because my cousin and her dad and her mom were supposed to sleep in the inside this room, and I was to sleep in the living room area by myself. But the dad was like, no, she cannot be staying here by herself in this living room to sleep. Why don't she come and sleep with us? Why don't she come and sleep with us in the room? So they were fine with that. And when it came time for bed, everybody went to bed. My cousin went to bed and her mom went to bed. I was the only one that was up. It was me and my uncle that was up. And he had this friend over, and so we were all just watching TV, or they were listening to music in the on the TV or something like that, like a music video. So we were just watching music videos and stuff, and they were talking. I was just there because I was still up. Before everybody else went to bed, they were doing the same thing I was doing. We all was like literally watching TV and just talking. So I was up. I was just sitting on the chair and letting him and, you know, and the guy that was there talk. And sometimes they will put me in the conversation and I would respond, or sometimes I will have a question about what I was seeing on the TV. Keep in mind, I was very young, so my mind was not really like developed yet, like all the way, but I was aware of what's going on. And so, yeah, all that was cool. Then it was time for bed. And then when it was time for bed, it's like in that room that we were in, there was this back, like the room had a back way, and in that back way there was a bed, and it wasn't like a regular bed. It was almost like a cot. You know what I mean? It was like a long little like bed looking thing. And on that bed, that's where the mom and my cousin was sleeping. And so when it was time to go to bed, I went and I slept there. And then I kid y'all not, in the middle of the night, I got woken up. Keep in mind that the uncle did not sleep there with us. He slept on the floor in the same room, but where he was sleeping had a little separation between where we were sleeping and where he was sleeping. So that's where I was sleeping. I was sleeping with my cousin and her mom, and then in the middle of the night, I think he woke me up. I also needed to pee at that time too. So when he woke me up, he was like, "You need to use the restroom," and I was like, "Yeah, I do." And then so the thing about Haiti is that when it's nighttime, we don't go outside to use the toilet. We have a little bucket, and then that bucket you keep it under your bed. And so with that bucket, when you need to use the restroom in the middle of the night, you just take it out from under your bed, you pee in it, and you put it back under the bed. So I know it's disgusting, y'all, because that's very disgusting. Even I'm over here thinking like, ew, I can't believe I used to do that. But that's basically our culture, and there's nothing we could do about it because some people choose to not do that, and then some people choose to do that. Because it's like the bathrooms in Haiti, at least the ones that we had, like in my house or in her house and my cousin's house, the toilet was literally all the way outside. You had to literally go in the yard, and it was dark outside, and you had to go use their toilet. So they kept that bucket under the bed. I needed to use the restroom, and I'm telling him that, and then he point me to the bucket, and he got the bucket for me, and then he's over here trying to pull my pants down. He's pulling my pants down and then putting me to sit on the bucket, and I already know what to do. So he's over here watching me. Keep in mind that everybody else is sleeping. The woman, my cousin's mom, is sleeping, and my cousin is sleeping, and he's over here helping me use the restroom, but at the same time he's being a little extra touchy. And me, I'm young, so it's like I don't. And y'all, when I was younger, I was very obedient. Like, if you disobey anybody who's older than you, you will get slapped, you will get spanked, you will get belt and all that. So I was always scared to speak my mind sometimes, basically. I was always scared. He's over here touching me and all that, and I'm young as well, so it's like, I don't know what's going on, but at the same time, I feel, I don't feel good about this. I'm trying to remember everything, y'all, because the gist of the story is that I almost got raped, but I need to tell you guys what happened before I almost got raped. So the before part is a little fuzzy in my head, but I can remember certain things. And so yeah, I'm peeing and all that, and then that's cool. I finished peeing, I pulling my pins up and everything. Then he's telling me, go over there and sleep with him on the floor because there's not a lot of space for three people to be sleeping where I was sleeping. And I was like, sure, I don't mind. Like, it's your house, so it's your thing. And I was young. Keyword, young. So I went to like sleep with him on the bed or on the floor wherever he was sleeping because there was a blanket there and everything. And so that's when I went to sleep with him, and this man was literally like kissing me. Like, he was literally like kissing me and trying to put his tongue in my mouth. And so I would withdraw my head away from him because it's like, oh, like, and I don't even know what kissing was at that time. So it's like, what the heck? So I'm pulling my head back, and at some point I think I've like literally turned around and kind of just like went to sleep. I don't know what happened, but at some point I went to sleep. I also think that under the blanket, he was like literally rubbing my clit. He was literally rubbing my clit under the blanket, y'all. But at some point I probably fell asleep. I was very in an uncomfortable situation. I didn't know who to talk to. I don't know what anybody's reaction is gonna be. And it's like, that was my first time being introduced to anybody like kissing me, putting their tongue in my mouth, and literally rubbing my clit. Before, I didn't even know that what a clit was and what it was doing down there. But when this man is over here like rubbing my clit, it feels very painful because the next morning I woke up and everybody was out of the room. He was the only one that was in the room, y'all. I said good morning. Then the TV was on, and I was watching the TV for a little bit because everybody was outside. I could hear their voice and I could hear them cooking. And because I was still young, it wasn't time for me to like join in the kitchen. But at some point I knew I wanted to get out of the room and go be in the kitchen with everyone. And all of a sudden this guy come back again, and he's over here trying to like, he was talking to me at first, asking me, how did you sleep? Is everything okay? And I'm telling him, yes, everything is fine and all that. But then this man literally, I don't remember what led up to it, but he tried to like put me like to lay down flat on my back, y'all. Like, he literally trying to put me to lay down flat on my back, and I'm over here trying to like squirm and move out of his hand, move out from how he's putting me to lay, because like I don't want to lay down right now. I didn't yell. I did not yell. I didn't scream. I didn't do none of that. I didn't want none of this. I didn't know what was going on. I did not want any of that either. So he's over here putting me straight to lay down, and I'm over here shifting my body because I don't want to be straight. Because every time I see him putting me straight, it's it's like he's about to reach for his dick. I was literally about to take out his dick and insert himself in me. Then I decided, you know what, let me stop moving and do what he's saying, because and I saw that he was getting agitated each and every time that I keep, every time he fixed me to stay straight, and I keep, turning my body and, doing that. Like, he started getting angry the more I did it. So I was like, you know what, let me just stop and let me stay still. And so I stayed still. And then that's when he was about to take out his dick to put it in there. And then I heard a voice, and the voice said to switch your hips again. The voice literally said to switch your hips. So the same thing I was doing earlier, the voice told me to do it again. You are gonna stop? No, do it again. That's what the voice told me to do, y'all. At that time, I didn't know it was God, but later on, as I got to know God more and more, I realized that was nobody but God, because only God knows the beginning and the end. Only God knows what a person really thinks. So God knew that if I continued to do what I was doing one last time, the guy was going to get up and leave me, and he was not going to try to force himself on me anymore. But me, in that situation, I thought that like he was gonna be extra angry at me. He was gonna be so angry that he probably slapped me or probably like hit me with belt. So that was my point of view. That's why I was like, let me stop moving. God said, move your hips again, move your hips. Don't stay still. That's literally what God said. He didn't say don't stay still, but he said move your hips, because every time he was putting me to lay still, like I would move my hips. But when I decided to stop moving my hips and just stay still so he can, so he don't be mad, God said move your hips. And I moved my hips, y'all, and you guys won't believe it. As soon as I moved my hips, the guy literally get up in anger and left out the room. But God saved me from that situation, y'all. And then later on, his daughter came in the room, and this man was still persistent, y'all. He was over here like touching me. He put me on his lap, and he was over here like rubbing my clit. It was hurting me, and I kept saying ow and ow. I kept saying ow. And it's like he wouldn't stop, and his daughter was right there in front of us watching TV and talking to me and talking to him. And that just shows how sick and how wicked people can be, y'all, because that is crazy. I was so young, and this man was probably in his late 20s or probably in his 30s. I don't know, because I didn't have a good recollection of time and age or any of that when I was because I was still young, yo. So he got me on his lap, and he's literally rubbing my clit and all that, and it's paining me, and I'm over here saying ow, ow, and I'm feeling embarrassed. I'm feeling embarrassed, and I'm feeling ashamed, because I'm right here in front of my cousin, and she's not saying anything to her dad, and I don't know what to say, and I don't know what's going on, and he's doing this to me, and I'm telling him ow, and he's still continuing. I'm telling him that it hurt, and he's still continuing what he's doing. And so at some point, y'all, it ended. The torture ended, and I don't know what happened afterwards, but I think like my mom came. I think I heard my mom's voice, and then that's when he had put me down, and then my mom got me ready, and then me and my mom left the house, and then she was walking me to school, because it was a school morning. It was a school morning that day. And as I was walking with my mom that morning to go to school, I'm over here feeling like I need to tell her. I want to tell her, but I don't know if I should tell her, because I don't know what her reaction is going to be like. I don't know if I was going to get hit, or, if I was going to get punishment for that, or what was going to happen. Like, I really wanted to tell my mom. I wanted to tell someone, but I didn't tell nobody. And for years, I didn't tell nobody, until one day my stepmom, I was talking to her. One day I was probably 14 years old and stuff. I was in America, and I'm talking to my stepmom, and then all of a sudden, excuse me, y'all. All of a sudden, she asked me, "Have you ever been touched before? Were you touched when you were young?" She literally asked me that. And I was shocked when she asked me that, because for years nobody knew my deepest, darkest secret. For years, y'all. Sometimes I would be in my room crying about it too. Sometimes I would be in my room thinking about it. But most times, I didn't even remember it, because that was something that was at the back of my the back of my head. And so she asked me that, and I was shocked, y'all. And I went and I told her the truth. I told her the truth, y'all. I literally did. And that's when I started feeling like, okay, it's not bad. Maybe it's not too bad for me to open up with people. And so I told her, and a couple years later, I got the chance to tell my dad as well. And those are the only two people that knew for a while until I felt comfortable enough to share my story. That day, when I was like 4 or 5 years old and was about to get raped, that was my first time hearing God's voice. So for years, I was literally searching for what was that voice for years. And it wasn't until I came to Christ and was getting closer with God that God revealed to me that that was Him. When nobody was around, when nobody knew what was going on with me inside that room, it was God that was watching me. It was God that was watching the situation, and it was God who delivered me and saved me from things getting worse than they were. Because literally, y'all, if I had gotten raped that night, my view on everything, on men, would have been far different. Very, very, very different. My view on men had already changed, to be honest, ever since that night. It had already changed, but to be getting raped on top of that, like, that would have made my view on men even worse. And God saw something that I didn't see. God knew something that I didn't know. So He told me what was needed to be done so He could save me out of that situation. And by me obeying His voice, I was saved from that situation, and I'm happy I obeyed His voice, because imagine getting your puberty taken away from you at a young age by a grown man. When I actually lost my virginity, yo, that was the most uncomfortable pain I've ever been through. And so imagine getting your virginity taken away at a young age like that. Like, that's sick. Like, that's really, really sick, y'all. And to this day, my mom don't know about what happened that night. And I don't know when I'm gonna be able to tell her what happened, because it's not like I have a name of who did it to me. I don't have a name at all. And it's been so long since that happened. It's like I don't even know how to, I know how to describe the men, but it's like, do you know how many other men look like that in Haiti? So it's like, that's gonna be a story for one day I sit down and I talk to her and try to reveal to her, whoever those people are, that's what happened that night. And to this day, I wonder, when he was watching me as I was using the restroom, was his wife really sleeping? Was she really sleeping? I wonder, does he do the same thing to his own daughter? Because I wouldn't be surprised, because she was watching, she was there seeing when he was doing all that to me. But she was young too. She was very young. And so she didn't say anything. She didn't do anything. She didn't even be like, Dad, what are you doing to my cousin? There was none of that. And even I didn't say anything. And so, y'all, God is good. God is very, very good. If you ever in a situation and you hear a voice tell you what to do and it seems impossible, it seems like something you will never think of doing yourself, just do it. Just do it, because that is most likely God saving you out of that situation. That was the first situation that God saved me by giving me an audible voice. But throughout the years, later on, he started speaking more to me. Like, I would find myself in certain situation and I would hear that voice, but I didn't know who it was. I did not know, but I know that it was not my own. But yo, I share this story with you guys to let you guys know that God is good. God is good, and there is power in obeying God's voice. When you obey God's voice, it saves you from a lot of things that you don't even see what's gonna about to happen to you. It saves you from a lot of things that you didn't even know was going to happen to you. It saves you from trauma. It saves you from trials and tribulations. The same way with my abortion testimony, that testimony would not have been out here today if I had listened to God's voice. Because God didn't want me to go through all that. He didn't want me to go through a narcissistic, ex. He didn't want me to go through narcissistic abuse. He didn't want me to even have to abort a baby. When I met this guy, literally, guys, literally, I was hearing the voice saying, no, no, no. But for the first time, I disobeyed the voice, and I suffered major consequences because of that. So, y'all, if God is telling you to do something, don't second guess it. Just do it. And if you feel like you don't know if it's God telling you to do that thing, just ask for confirmation, because God will always give you confirmation on whatever he says. God will always give you confirmation, because God is not a confusing God. He is not a confusing God. If he knows that you're confused about what he said, he's going to give you confirmation so you can know that it's him and it's nobody else. Like it is said in the Bible, my sheep knows my voice. We are God's sheep, so therefore we should know his voice and we should obey him. And we should obey him when he tells us to do something. Don't second guess God, because you cannot tell the future. You don't know what's going on in the future. Only God can. So if he tells you to do something once, do it. If you don't do it once on the first time, do it on the second time. If he tell you to do the same thing on the second time, do it, because he's saving you. God is a just God. He is a just God, y'all. Like, he's only here for our best. He's not here for our worst. So if he's telling you to do something, no matter, don't do it, because God is saving you from something you cannot see coming in the future, or saving you from a lifelong of trauma. To this day, I kid y'all not, I still deal with trauma from the things that the guy put me through, when I should not have even been with that guy, because God told me no, but I disobeyed him. But all this goes to show y'all that God is good, God is faithful, God is loving, and God is merciful. God is just incredible. God is here. God is everywhere. He knows. He knows everything. He sees everything. He hears everything. And the best thing about it is that he knows everybody's intentions. He knows everyone's intentions. Your intentions, my intentions, your family's intentions, your friends' intentions. So when he speaks for your good. He speaks for your good, because he knows what will happen if he don't speak and save you before the things happen. So, y'all, if God has been telling you to do something today, or yesterday, or the day before that, or for years, and you haven't done it, just do it. Because God is here for our good. He is our Father, and he wants the best for us. I have forgiven that man, because, this unforgiveness is a sin. So I already forgave him. But God, I'm pretty sure God is dealing with him today, yo. I'm pretty sure God has dealt with him. God has, because God is a just God. People be thinking that they can do things to hurt God's children and they'll get away with it. No, no. Literally, God said, vengeance is mine. So when you leave it for God to deal with, oh my God, I kid y'all not, God gonna make sure you win this battle. God will make sure to get whoever did you wrong. God will make sure to get whoever did you wrong. But nothing goes unseen under God's eyes. Nothing. So if you do something to God's children, God will deal with you, because God is a just God. God is literally a just God. So all I can do is just wish you guys the best, and wish that you guys obey the voice of God, especially when he speaks to you audibly. He speaks to you in different ways. So when God speaks, listen, because that's him trying to save you. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a good and beautiful day.